Here, Angular 730. Now, we have subjects, we have operators, we have, variables. Yesterday we discussed something called RxJS. Okay. Now, yesterday topic is RxJS. Okay. A simple revise of RxJS. RxJS means reactive extension for JavaScript. It's a library. Now, RxJS will use to deal the asynchronous actions. Some asynchronous functions will be there. How do you deal with them? Normally, in normal JavaScript, asynchronous actions deal with something called promises. What if there are multiple promises or recurring promises? Those kind of things you will deal with something called RxJS. Now, in RxJS, you have three concepts: observables, subjects, operators. Basically, observables are used when you do some kind of HTTP request, or sometimes when you do click a button, or when you submit a form, observable may come, or sometimes routing also may return some kind of observables. These observables are nothing but series of events, series of promises. Okay. Now one observable will be there, one observer will be there, observer subscribe observable, and so that he can able to get it whatever he wants. Okay. That is a basic logic. And what about subject? Subject is also observable only, but the difference is in the subject, observer, observable, दोनों same रहता. He will only, he is the observer, he is the observer. He is subscribed to himself. Okay. And most interesting point, then what is the use of subject? Subject is to multicast. Subject is like it will show to multicast, it will show it to multiple elements at a time. Whenever any one element do anything, to show it to all other elements, we will use something called subjects. Okay. Now, now, next, next, next. Operators. To achieve this observer something, we need some kind of default functions also. There are some default library functions inside the RxJS. Those are called operators, like off, map, from, filter kind of things. Okay, there are so many other also, but these are most widely used ones. Let's go next. Next topic, which is template forms. Actually, if you don't know template forms, also you can manage it with normal forms, ng model. First, I will start with Angular standalone. Okay, this one template forms is not much important. I will start with Angular standalone. Okay, and in case if you have time, I will go with template forms. If not having the time in the project, I will put the template form. Okay, yeah, because we didn't discuss the standalone one till now. So go here, terminal, new terminal. Okay. How do the observers given by routing, sir? We can use it something called routing, something called auth guard. That means when you are going to a particular route, instead of directly loading the file, we will go to one TypeScript file and we'll check it whether we want to load it or not. At the time, one observable will come. Okay. So that it will update again and again and again. Like, for example, dashboard. Everything, some changes came again, the dashboard has to update it. Now, okay, 730 Angular. Let's try cd Angular, cd code, cd Angular, cd code. CD Angular, CD code. Now, this is the most interesting point. This is the most interesting point. Let's try ng new ang 18. I'm not writing dash dash standalone now. Okay. Which one you wanna do? CSS. So you want server side rendering. Let's keep it yes. Raviteja, can you tell us how to use the spec.tss for unit testing? If you write it ng test, automatically it will become you on a testing. Ng test. You don't need to write it in a testing technique. Let it load. Let's try it, sir. CD ang 18 ng serve dash o. Yes. ng 18 came. Now let's see the structure, sir. I will show you some small changes which happened in the Angular 18. Major change in the Angular 18 and the normal one is first one. I put it server side rendering. Yes, right or not? When you put server side rendering, yes, you will get one more file called server.ts. Can you see that? Normally this file will not come. Normally this file will not come. This file will come when you give it server side rendering. Yes. Okay. Now this file will load your application. See, this is something called Express. Okay. Which is like Express.js. This is. Okay. Normally Node.js, Express.js are the server side programming. That server side TypeScript, it will write it directly in your code only. Okay. It can work it as server side code. See, it done all the server side code. You can do that. Now, next, go inside. This is the only extra file which will come. Now, what is this is also another file. Main.server.ts is also we don't have. Okay. Now, sir, what is server side rendering, client side rendering? I will tell you. Client side rendering means there is a basic client and server model. Client requests the server and the server responds to the client. Server responds to the client. Client requests the server. Now, when client requested, what the server will give, so a server will give you something like a HTML, CSS, JavaScript, something kind of one. And the client will do the browser. So client is like browser only, na? Now that browser will actually paint it. Browser is like how to put that, how to put this kind of thing. Browser only will paint it in the screen. First, it will load the HTML. If CSS is there, then it will load. If JavaScript is there, it will load JavaScript first and then it will load remaining and all will patch it up. That is how normal, rendering will happen. But the problem is, instead of that, instead of this, we can make whole website load in the server only, and directly server will give direct site only. Server only load the whole website and give you site. What is the advantage? The advantage is like server side programming will come very fast rendering. But the problem is server will take it more number of requests so that we need to get it more cost. Okay. We need to utilize the server more so it will be costly. Now, anyway, it we are doing local host. कुछ नहीं होता. Now, main.server.ts. This is the server file. Now, go here inside. Now, can you see these files, ma? Is there any module file? Can you see? Is there any module file? Module. Yes, sir. Because there is no module only. There won't be any concept of module inside the Angular 17 and 18. Angular 17 are standalone components. Standalone components bole to no modules. Like normally earlier system is one component will be there, another component will be there. If one component needed and another component, they will go one inside the another, and also they will inform to module guy. Module is the big boss. So they should tell to module guy that we are going with one component inside the another component and all. They should inform to the module. This is how we did the big boss. Now, those concept is not there. You don't need to tell it anyone. Like for example, if you are using ng model, you will put forms module na. ये पूरा को module file नहीं है. So forms module you will put it only in that. The problem with this is Angular thought about this. Angular thought it like this. Imagine I have three components. Now, only in one component I am using ng model. ng model. And there is one module file for all. Now, where do you declare forms module? Where do you import and declare forms module, sir? Inside the main module, no? Now, this main module file is for all, right? Is for all, right? Now, even though this app module is for all, but even though only one component is using ng model, all components will have one module which can have ng forms module, right or not? So forms module will be shared with all components now. Angular did not like it. Angular like first component wants it will have its own forms module. Second component have it will have forms module again. Third component have it will have forms module again. Each one need to be separate. Any doubts? Any doubts? This kind of concept is called standalone components. That's why every time we used to write it dash dash standalone equals to false. Why we write it false means we don't want it. We want module. Why I teach you that only most of the time? Because Angular 17 came in last November only. Industry, it's not recognized. Most of the industry-wide Angular applications you deal are old only. Okay? And those applications have till Angular 16 only. Angular 17 and 18 recently came. 18 came this May only. 17 came at something like November. 17 is not a great success. That's why 18 came at May. Now after a year, after 1.5 years, then 18 will become somewhat standard. But until that, Angular 16 stays well. Now, how it will work? Here, everything is done by config. It's a config file. If you remember, I told you config is like a rule set. Okay. Now, this is a rule set, sir. This is a rule set for server also. Now, inside this, see, provide server side rendering. Now, see TypeScript. Can you see the difference in this TypeScript? Can you see some difference in this? What is extra here? Imports and standalone, these two are extra. Imports and standalones are extra. Router outlet, these things were not there. Okay, these things were not there earlier. Now here, imagine one more component I declared. Imagine I created one more component. CD code, CD and 18. Oh, CD Angular first. CD code, CD ang 18. Now ng generate component name child. Now one component is created. But sir, earlier when component created, component four files will be created: HTML, CSS, TS, spec.ts, and it also informed to the module. In module, they used to write it. This component have existed, but now no one is writing it. Just only four files were created. That's it. Now I go here. I go to my app.html. I will just delete it. I will write it here. What is the name of the child? Name of the child is app-child. Right or not? Name of the child is app-child. Go here. Write it here. App-child. Now, what happened? ng0 dash o. Now, can you see one error came? What is the error? App child is not known only. We don't know what is app child. App child is there na? Why it is saying error? Any guess? Because earlier we don't need to import it. Earlier, for app module is there that big guy knows this both of the elements. When parent is asking who is this, the module guy will say it like he is one of the child. You can take it. Okay, but here no one is tell na, so we need to import it. Go here. You need to import. If you want to use child component, first import child component. Import child component. After importing it, write the child component inside the imports. Now see child coming. What? Now why it is still saying error? I wrote the same thing earlier also. No, no idea. Okay. Sometimes it will say silly things like this only. Now, anyway, this is how it works. Any doubts, ma? It's a basic logic. Now, not only that, sir. Not only that. Go here, go here. Let's write some simple variables. Let's write it something u which is equals to true, something arr equals to 5 comma 6 comma 7. Now if I wanna write it something if loop, if loop, how do you write it if? How do you write it if? Ng if na? If you wanna write switch, if you wanna write it for, वो पूरा नहीं चाहिए, because angular 18 will tell you can write it something like at the rate if, at the rate if, at the rate if, do. This is if true case. Else, at the rate else, do. This is else case. Sir, what is at the rate if? Ng if only. Earlier, until Angular 16, we used to use ng if. Angular 17 and 18 told it like you can directly use it like how you write it in JavaScript or how you write it in remaining programs. Like that in HTML also you can write it. So they introduced new structural directives. They introduced new structural directives and easy to use. Therefore, earlier you used to write it something called ng template, if, and else, something difficult used to be, if then else. Now it's very easy. You can use it how much nicely you want. And also, this code is easy to understand. If B. Any doubts, sir? If you wanna put nested if, it is more easy. At the rate if के अंदर at the rate if करो. Is it clear, ma? This is if else if ladder. You can put it in nested if more easily. If inside if. But in ng template is difficult. Normal ng if, right or not? Any doubts, sir, here? Here a value is true. देखो, a value is true. Can anyone tell me what it will print on the screen? This is if true case. Why it is not printing there? Because it is not running. See? Okay. In our resume, how to mention it, sir? Angular 18, 17, 16. No, we never mention like that. Mention it like Angular. Write it there 16 and 18. Both in brackets. Okay. Or Angular 16, comma Angular 18 is okay. No need to mention it all. But usually if you mention Angular, that is enough. Okay. You will write it in descriptions now. You will write it in description, something you know about, whatever you want. In that, mention it. Okay. If it is false, it will print else case, sir. Obviously. Same thing. Sir, what if I wanna do switch case? At the rate switch. वो switch के अंदर each वाला at the rate case and default वाला at the rate default. कोई डाउट है सर? 16 and 17 standalone is the main difference. The standalone components is the major difference. Actually, they started a version from 16 to 17, uh, 17, 18, both. 17, the major breakthrough. Till 17, it's non-standalone only. But 17 came and it became standalone of components. Because React uses that concept only, standalone components. To make it better like React, Angular brings that concept. That's a major breakthrough. But that version is not stable. In that version, people used to get so many bugs because people were habituated with using modules so much. So then people converted into the, like some kind of errors, some kind of bugs, some kind of thing, serious problems. Then Angular 18 comes solving all of them. Okay. Now, same thing, you can have something like at the rate for here. This one is more easy than the normal one, right? ARR. Instead of ng for, you can use at the rate for. Any doubt, sir? Huh? राउटिंग इज सेम. राउटिंग में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. देखो राउट्स फाइल इज देयर. राउटिंग में कोई नहीं पड़ता. राउटिंग earlier routed module used to be there for route. That module used to give routing outlet and all. But here, if you remember, if you see here, if you want to include this app component inside the routing, if you want to include this app component inside the routing, you need to put that router outlet here. Okay. Uh, Here you are using router outlet na inside. So where you wanna print it, wherever you wanna print it, that one you will import. If you wanna use only one thing into that, you will import that only. By default, they all are connected by server. Iterating also will give server. Now if you print it here, it will iterate paragraph item. Now can you see here it printed 567? Because here 567 is the values I give. Any doubts? No. Someone is asking it, what is it track? Track is like it will come, it will, track the items. For example, it is printing in the array 3 elements. That means on the screen, how many elements are there? 3. Paragraph 5, paragraph 6, paragraph 7. But tomorrow you are like, no, no, I don't want, I want only the second one. Paragraph with the number 6, I want it differently. Paragraph number 7, I want it differently. Paragraph number 5, I want differently. So elements has to be identified uniquely. How do you identify the elements when all elements are same paragraph elements only? Then each one it will put one tracking just to make it identify. Okay, that tracking one is index. Based on the index, it will track. Why index only, sir? Index is unique, sir. Index is unique. Any doubts, ma? Any doubts here? No. This is a basic changes. You can use so many other things also, like at the rate, uh, not fallback. What is that? You can put at the rate loading also. Let me show you some loading one. At the rate loading. These are called deferrable views. These are called deferrable views. It is one of the nice features which I love actually. So where is this? Let me bring it up. Now, loading block can only be used after at the red differ. Now, inside the differ, inside the differ, I will write all my code. Now, I will write it here. I will say something like some kind of queue loading. Why it is coming directly? Sir, HTTP client services ये पूरा same है, but in this services HTTP client module is not there. No need because HTTP client module by default it will come. Okay. HTTP client only. HTTP client module no need. Remaining concepts are same. See, concepts में कोई change नहीं रहता. खाली one concept. Module पूरा remove करो. That's it. Server one is taking time because server has to stop. In real time, server side rendering will be faster. अरे, let's go here. ng serve dash o. Something it's not loading actually. What is this deferrable view is like used for lazy loading. That is what I'm doing it. Loading component. I don't know why it is not working it here. Maybe server side component it's not coming. Here I need to put some triggers, I think. Open Angular official website. Re. Basically, what will happen is If you use this first, that loading will come. Like you don't want it directly component to load. You wanted something loading icon, like some kind of loading icon or loading animation will come. Then only you wanted this, whatever the components you want, it will come. Then you will use this kind of thing. And I don't know why it is not working it here. It is loading it directly. Instead, it will go for loading first. No. Oh, it is showing it maybe after 10 seconds I wanted. Now they go. I did it wrong. Now they go. I wrote this na. I wrote this app child na. Directly I want my app child to print na. Boys, देखो. I wrote it something app child na. Inside the app child works is there. It should print directly child works na. Right or not? But instead of printing directly child works, it will print something called loading. So how much time it will print loading? 10 seconds. उसके बाद child works will come. फिर लोड करे तो 10 seconds it will come loading only. Then it will come this particular code. If you give after, what happen is after 10 seconds it is starting. But I am checking it like why it is not starting now. Okay. So yeah. Like you can give different parameters here. Not only at the rate loading, you can have different blocks. See, after 10 seconds it came child works. Now you can see so many other things are there. If you want to get it any error, imagine the loading thing got failed. Okay, loading thing got failed. Then you can use at the rate error. Like for example, differ, they put something called calendar. Imagine this component is having some error. Component is having an error. If the component is having error, go to this error block. Okay. Or you can use something like uh, some kind of, some kind of times. See this. This is like triggers. These are triggers, whatever you give. You can give some a trigger and get a trigger. Like, for example, see, on viewport, on timer, 5 seconds. On viewport, now on timer, 5 seconds. What does it mean? It means user has to interact. User has to interact. The user either user to go to placeholder or the screen. The screen will load automatically 5 seconds. It's like it will start one timer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then only I will show. Then only viewport will show. You can put some condition also. When condition is true only, I want to print this. When? Are you getting my point, sir? These kind of different viewports you can give. This is called deferred views. What it is called? Deferred views. These are advanced topics. See, these all are advanced topics which you will they ask in advanced one. Like they will ask you something image optimization. Angular will give you one thing called ng optimize image. This is a new directive. Whenever you want to load your images, if you use this ng optimize image, automatically it will become optimized images. Okay, it is not stable now actually, but still people like to use it ng optimize image. It is not stable now one. Just import it and write it there. And whenever you are writing it here, whenever you are using it anywhere, instead of using src, write it ng src. What will happen? This will make your image optimized. That means it will load your image very fastly. Now, server side rendering, we all know. built-in pre-rendering automatically, static site generation. Now, last but not least, it is also one of the new concept. This is called hydration. Hydration. Okay. Hydration means whatever the rendering happen in the server, whatever the rendering happen in the server, that whole thing automatically, whenever it happen, it will bring it to the client. Whenever server side rendering happen, the whole application will commit to the client so that the client can do DOM manipulations if it wants. Even though it is server side rendering, it will look like exactly the client side rendering, and it can able to use DOM manipulations and all. It will bring it to the client. That is called hydration. You don't need to do it. Hydration is by default in Angular 17 and 18. Okay. Now, any doubts in this Angular 17 or 18 kind of thing? These were the major things in Angular 17, 18. Any doubts here? कोई doubts है माँ? Is it clear till now? If it is clear, because we will have time, so I will go with something called auth guards so that you guys will be having some good clarity, and we will discuss the forms when we do it because forms are not much important. Okay. Any doubts in this? You can even type it here in the docs and you will get it here. So many nice programs. Always try to go and try to do this. Yeah, one more thing like here testing. Someone asked me testing, sir, how do you do testing and all? कुछ नहीं होता. जाओ इधर. Command prompt. Node.js, I will delete. CD Angular. Instead of testing on this one, okay, because it is a server side rendering, it will be slow here in the client. I will go with something called uh, routing one. CD Angular, CD routing, CD code, CD routing, CLS. Now here you can write it something called ng test. Ng test. Now basically understand this, sir. Angular by default will have testing mechanism. Angular testing. Last voice. Focus here, ma. Angular will have basically testing mechanism. You don't need to write it anything. Now there are different types of testings. Front-end developers also will write testing. That is called unit testing. Unit testing बोले तो we will write it based on the blocks. तो क्या blocks क्या क्या करता? Okay, like each and every block, each and every component, is it correctly working or not? We will write it for every component one logic. That is called unit testing. For every service we will write, for every directive we will write. Already some default written code will come inside the spec.ts. If you want to increase it, you can write it more. Okay. Are you getting my point, ma? Now. Okay. Now, basically, for Angular testing, it will use a framework called Jasmine, and it will use a test runner called Karma. Have you ever heard of this Karma and Jasmine? And the names are like that. So each and every test, देखो, here you will have so many applications, so many components, components say, services say. Each and every component it needs to run service, so each and every component it needs to run testing, right or not? Who will test this? One is called Karma. That name is okay, and we will write code for this Karma, na. We will write code for this Karma, na. The framework which we will use to make this Karma work is called Jasmine. Anyway, I will write ng test. You will understand. The names are like that. Don't worry. NG test. All you need to do is that. See, generating browse bundles application. Oh, it got failed. See, can you see this? Karma completed. Test completed. Which one done this? Jasmine. And it started working on it and it failed 3 times. Happy. Very good. Why did it fail, Ray? App header is not a known element. Used app component. What? Go here. Uh-huh. These were the spec list. About component spec list is there. Contact is there. And app component is there. Oh, they need a title for app component. What is the title they need? Routing. Okay, let me check it. Let me do it. Go here. Go down. App component. जाओ उधर. Title routing. It is there na? Should have as title routing. So it is having it रे. फिर करो. App component is not a known element. App header is an angular element. Then verify it is a part of the ng module. Say why module is not loading रे? Module has to be there na. It is there na. Go down, go down, go down, go down. App component is there na. What happened to the Jasmine? Debug करो. Line by line करो. अच्छा. Did I deleted anything? I don't think so. Success cases. But this is what the testing basically. All you need to do is ng test. Okay. You can even write it different test cases. Okay. All whatever the test cases which are running, there is a default one. There is a default one called test bed. There is a default one. Angular uses something called a test bed. Test bed is used to go to each and every class and interact with whatever for writing something unit test in Angular applications. Testbed is the library. Testbed is the library which we will use to write it unit testing in the Angular. Okay, based on testbed language we will write this. Simple. If you wanted something, see, these are the things. This is the problem. In this only I got a problem. Now I can do one nice logic. I will just relate it. Or what is the title here? Title is routing only. It got mad, I think. Now what it is saying, it should create the app. Huh? Go to app component HTML. Went Header will not come now. I have to. So you are seeing it this only. This app header not in non element. Actually, it should take it. It will take it actually. Okay. Now, sir, should we give it NG test project name? No, we are inside the project folder only, na. Huh? We are we are using router router outlet. Huh? No, no, no. In router outlet, we will keep it all the components, and we will keep it the app header and footer separately, right? Router outlet is place where you will get it. Like for example, header will be common for all. Like for example, when you click on about one will come in the place of router outlet. That about one will come between the header and footer, right or not? Now, again, when you click on contact, contact will come between header and footer. Header and footer is common for all. So header and footer will be inside this, and the place where you are getting it each time changes is called outer outlet. If you go to this application, देखो, like for example, take this. Now here, whenever you are clicking, only this place is changing, na right side place. That is outer outlet. Remaining all are same. Yeah, it is not working it. Okay. Obviously, if I commented it, it will work. I know that. It's like whenever the test cases fail, we are just making it disappear. Okay. Now, but it is not a big deal actually. You know, in even in real time, you won't need to worry much about it. This testing and all. They don't even go for that. 99.99% they won't go for that. But they will ask you, who is the test runner? The test runner is Karma. Who is the testing framework? Jasmine. What is the testing library? Testbed. Testing library is the testbed. Test runner is the Karma. Test framework is Jasmine. And how do you test it? ng test. When you do ng test, which file will run? spec.ts. Those were the 4 points which you need to remember. Any doubts, sir? Any doubts? No. Next. This test will run again and again and again. If you want it like, sir, one time I want my test to run and stop. Write it here. ng test watch false. Test will run one time and it will stop it after that. It will not run again and again. One time it's run and it's over. Do failed and date success. Any doubt, sir? No. Okay, it's a basic thing. Next. Next. Someone is asking. Someone is asking auth guards. Auth guards. Now here I will run my application, sir. This application, let's run it. This is the application I'm getting it. Home, about, projects, home, contact. Did you remember this, sir? Why it is coming side by side, right? CSS में कोई दे दिया हम. Display flux, flux direction colon. Same उधर भी. Header, flux direction. No. Now go here. If I click on about page is coming, contact page is coming. Any doubts, sir, in this? If I go to whatever I like it, not found page will come. But what if I write it here something like dashboard? Dashboard. Will dashboard page will come? No, now not found is coming. Imagine dashboard is there. I gave it dashboard routing. And if I give it here dashboard, will it come directly dashboard page, sir? Right? Is it good to get a dashboard page directly like that? No. What you need to do, if I put a dashboard page, what I have to do? For example, someone going into Amazon website, right? Amazon.com/dashboard, if you type it, you know where it will go? Huh? No, it will go to login. It will ask you to log in first. Login नहीं करे तो dashboard कैसे दिखाता? Because it will check it like whether you logged in or not. Okay. Now let's try it, sir. Now go here. Now ng generate component dashboard. Ng generate component. Did I write it component login, sign up and all? No. Login. CLS. Now go to routings. Routing module. Now inside this routing module, I will say this. If path is dashboard, sorry, first one login karunga. Login is easy. If path is login, go to component, login component. अभी तक कोई doubt नहीं. But imagine if I go to the path, if I go to the path, dashboard, it will go to component, dashboard, but component dashboard, but I don't want it to load directly to that. I don't want it to load directly. I wanted to stop it at one point. I wanted to like before it loads, it should check whether I logged in or not. Before it loads, I wanted to check whether it logged in or not. If it is logged in only, go to dashboard. Right? So you are guarding, you are protecting, you are keeping some security to one particular route, right or not? You are keeping some security to one particular route. That is called auth guard. What it is called? Auth guard. What it is called? Auth guard. Now, let's go here, create an auth guard for this. And how do you create it? Ng generate guard. Ng generate guard. You can give whatever the name you like it. Bash. Now, how many auth guards is showing it, sir? 4. Can you see what are their names? Can activate child, can deactivate, can match. There are 4 kinds of security guards you can give. Can activate is a security guard which you can use it when you are about to activate a particular component. That means someone go to /dashboard, and that means you are activating the dashboard now. Before you wanna activate the dashboard, you wanna check it a guard, that is can activate. Before you wanna activate a child one, you wanna check something, can activate a child. Before you deactivate, like for example, I'm going out of the dashboard, right? Okay, And I don't want it to go it directly. I wanted to check something and then only leave. Okay, check something and then only leave. That is called can deactivate. What is it called? Can deactivate. Last but not least, can match. Can match is like if it is matching to a specific condition or a specific path, then only it will activate. That is called can match. Mostly we will use can activate and deactivate. Now, what happened there? ng generate dash can activate. Huh? Okay. Sorry, not enter. Space. Click on space. Then it will come. Okay. Now can activity is coming. Someone it is having error because comma रहे कुछ नहीं होता. See can activate come. Can you see here how many files came? Two files. What are they? Dash dot guard dot spec dot ts dash dot guard dot ts. Go to dash now. Here I will write it. Here I will write it. Whenever you are giving routing, wherever you are giving routing, sir, go to that routing one and give it here guard. Okay. And I will write it here. Can activate. Can activate. And what is the guard which is there for activation, sir? What is the guard name? Dash guard. If dash guard says true, if dash guard says true, then only dashboard will come. What if dash guard says false, sir? Dashboard will not come. Is it clear? This is the basic and important concept of uh, guards. Now go to dash guard and go here inside the dash guard. See what it is saying. So true or to true, it will come. Now if you say make it false, it will not come. You can write a logic also here. You can make this logic check something. You can make it this logic check something. Based on the route, you will check it here. If it is working, then only you will make it work. If it is not working, it will not make it. Any doubts, ma? कोई doubts है? Imagine when someone logged in. Imagine when someone logged in. I will make it one variable like is logged in true. Imagine when someone logged in, I will make one variable is logged in true. And then I will write it here if is logged in is true, then return true, else return false. Simple. Are you getting my point, ma? Or why to make it return false also? I will say this dot route on it to this dot also. Say route dot navigate route dot router oh, Here I can do here. What router? Then I will say router dot navigate. Now it is coming. Navigate to a specific URL, something like slash login. Huh? This is used when we are using something class, usually. It is not a class normally here. I can use it without this all logic also. I can make it, you know. Why to make it? See, देखो. I will say make it window dot window dot location dot href. I will change the URL to dot slash login return false. What is window dot? If you don't know what is window, sir, that is the basic JavaScript object, BOM object, browser object model. Now it is having only one error. This is having error because each login is not a variable only. If you have, imagine you have one service. Inside the service, create one variable is login. Service is used for common data. Write it one variable is login. Whenever someone logged in correctly, make it that service is login true. Make it the service is login true. Then automatically service login will be true. And then there you can make it as check it like if the login is true, go to the return true and dashboard will come. If login is false, it will not come. Now if you write it here return false directly, now it will never come this particular component. If you go to dashboard, if you run this particular application, ng server dash o, now it's coming, but what if I write it here slash dashboard? Is it coming anything? No, because before it is coming, it is going into that auth guard and it is checking what the auth guard is returning. Is it clear, ma? Total four auth guards will be there. Can activate, can deactivate, can activate child, or can match. Mostly we'll go with can activate and deactivate. Okay. And that's it for today regarding the advanced Angular. Okay. Only topics which I did not cover are forms because they were not much important. Okay. And something like signals, which are too advanced. Okay. But for a Python one or a .NET one, whatever the questions you will face in interview or whatever the normal application building, whatever you do, those things I mentioned. But I am telling you, you are not 100% perfect in Angular by this now. I'm telling it. You understand what is what. Try to build one real-time application. There are so many libraries in the Angular. You need to explore more and more. The more you practice, the more you will get it. Create now. Today and tomorrow's task is create one full portfolio project using Angular. I want you to build a complete portfolio, because portfolio is nothing but routing only. Design a portfolio. If you want to make any business website like e-commerce or something, try it using complete Angular only. And कोई doubt आए तो पूछो. Any doubts ma? Ushaswini, tell generate module sir once. That is simple ma. Dekho, instead of this, if you write it here, ng generate module. Anything you can do it like this. Similarly, modules, directives and all. Ng generate module X. Then X module will be generated. Simple. See, one more module came which is named as X. Same like this. What is this use? What is this use is one what is this use is one module will be inside another module. Like what if you have some 30-40 components? All 30-40 components inside one app module is not good now. 10 components of similar use will be in one component, one module. Another 10 will be in another module. Another 10 will be in another module. All three modules will be in main module. That's a basic logic. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Working with that, कुछ नहीं होता. Like take it some components and put it inside the X module, and already X module will be inside the main module. Put that X module inside the main module. Okay. Like splitting work in teams. Yeah, that is actually true. This is actually called code splitting. Any doubts, sir? Any doubts, ma? No. Yeah. That's it for today. Thank you all, and we'll meet you on Monday, and we'll start a project. We will do some kind of e-commerce site, a simple e-commerce site. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you all. If you get it, any doubts, bring it to me.